I was focusing on the actual journey versus just focusing on that destination. Now, there were times when I really had to just focus on the destination, like when I was crashing, like when I couldn't move, I couldn't roll over in bed for several hours at a time. The only thing that got me through those times was thinking about the future, was thinking about all the exciting things that were to happen if I ever got better. But of course, when you're living in the future, it's really hard to catch your footing in the present. How's it going, Thriver? Miguel here from CFS Recovery. In this video, we're going to be talking about a very simple topic, but this area of focus in recovery can actually make a massive difference. And the topic is how to stay present in recovery. How do you stay present? How do you stop thinking about the past and stop thinking about the future and really anticipating things that could come up? I remember when I was recovering, and if you don't know about my story in depth, essentially, I was dealing with these symptoms for about 4.5 years, and I dealt with it very severely for about 8 months. At my worst, towards the worst parts of my journey, I was completely bedridden at my grandparents' house, getting spoon-fed, couldn't take a shower for sometimes several weeks. Had to get help from my grandma to help me brush my teeth, and really my body was just completely deteriorating. I was dealing with dozens and dozens of symptoms. I had to wear a blindfold and earplugs most of those 6 months. And actually, there were 2 months where I was completely hospitalized. I was in the ICU. They were giving me lots of medication. I really didn't think I was going to make it, but luckily I'm here today and I have my life back. And so one of the most difficult things when I was in those trenches, especially when you start trying to introduce activities and transition from completely bedridden to couch-bound, from couch-bound to moving around the house a little bit, from moving around the house to getting to that next level of walking around outside, can be very difficult because a lot of times when we're starting to move around more and starting to make some progress, we can start anticipating the things that might come up. Things like flare-ups, things like symptoms coming back, wondering if we're even doing the right things. And we can be so focused on trying to make progress that we lose track of different things. We lose track of actually recognizing we are making progress in the moment, right? We get so focused on getting to a certain spot that we fail to realize what's happening right in front of us. And we may miss all of the small wins that we're having. And it totally makes sense because, of course, you want to avoid making mistakes. You want to avoid crashing. And also, you're traumatized from all the times you did try to do one small thing and you completely flare up. And so an analogy I want to talk about with this is think about it like once I made this massive shift, it really helped me actually start to enjoy the journey of recovery. I wasn't rushing through it anymore. I was focusing on the actual journey versus just focusing on that destination. Now, there were times when I really had to just focus on the destination, like when I was crashing, like when I couldn't move and I couldn't roll over in bed for several hours at a time. The only thing that got me through those times was thinking about the future, was thinking about all the exciting things that were to happen if I ever got better. But of course, when you're living in the future, it's really hard to catch your footing in the present. And so I heard this analogy the other day just about being able to soak in the journey and enjoy the journey, right? Painters don't focus on the finished product. They enjoy the process. If someone were to say, hey, painter, I need you to draw this picture or paint this beautiful picture, but I need it fast. I need it as quick as possible. Would that even be enjoyable for the painter? No, painters do it because they love the process. It is part of the whole art of painting. It's not just that finished product. And so with your life, think about it like you're rebuilding your new life, okay? Because typically when people want to recover, a lot of times they think they want to go back to their old life and they start reminiscing about the past. But once they start getting better and better, they've realized if they went back to their previous way of living, it would actually put them into a crash again because they would repeat old patterns. They realized they got stressed out quite a bit. Maybe they overworked themselves. Maybe they didn't have as much emotional regulation as they needed, which is part of why a lot of people get this. Not all, but a lot of people who get this were type A personalities to begin with. And so the point is, they don't want to go back to their old lives. They realize that, okay, I need to rebuild this new life. I need to reinvent myself in order to become a better version to make sure I not just recover, but ensure that this never happens again. And I started to enjoy the journey of recovery. I started to fall in love with this process of getting better every single day, every single week, every single month, being able to see noticeable changes, not in my symptoms, but how I was responding to symptoms. And how you respond to symptoms is what affects your peace of mind. Because I'll tell you, when I was in the hospital at my lowest, my symptoms were all over the place. It was brutal. But once I started learning that, oh, this isn't going to kill me, it's just very uncomfortable. It feels like this thing is trying to kill me, but it's not actually going to kill me. It helped lower my anxiety. And I started to realize, okay, if I respond well to symptoms, I don't go on this emotional downward spiral. Yes, physically, it's still very uncomfortable, but mentally, it's not hitting me as hard. I started to feel more and more safety within my body and more confidence that my body just wasn't going to fall apart. And so another analogy is musicians, right? Musicians aren't just focused on the final product. Musicians enjoy the process of creating music, right? And if you asked a musician to just create a song as quick as you can, I just need the song now, I need it fast, it's not going to be their best work. Because part of making music, it's not just the finished product, it's what they did to get there. It's being in the studio, it's learning the notes of the piano, it's going back and forth, polishing up a few things here and there. And it's this sense of progress, like you are actually creating something. Just know that as you're responding well to symptoms, as the days go by, whether you're in an adjustment period or out of an adjustment period, you are rebuilding yourself. And just that phase of rebuilding, you want to start getting connected to that. Because really, at the end of the day, how satisfying would it be if you just skip to the end of this journey? Yes, there will be some times where you want to do that, where there are times when I said, I'm done suffering. I suffered for so many years. I've gone through so much pain, through so much crap, and I'm only 21 years old. I feel like I've had a lifetime of pain. Why do I need to keep going through this? I've already learned my lesson. What is my body trying to tell me? What is the universe trying to tell me? And just like every hero's journey, they have to go through those difficult times to mold and shape who they are moving forward. Imagine if Batman just became Batman without his come up. Imagine if Spider-Man just snapped his fingers and all of a sudden he had these superpowers and never had to go through the hardships. Would he be able to be that much, much better version of himself? For Lord of the Rings, imagine if Frodo just took a helicopter to throw that ring into Mordor. Imagine all the lessons that he would have missed out on if he didn't go through the mountains, didn't march through the snowy mountains, didn't go through the depths of all these dark places and learn all of these lessons. And something that really helped me was imagining like I was in a movie or an epic story. And the more difficult my life was, the more difficult the situation, the more epic that story would be. I think the reason people resonate with my videos, maybe the reason you're even watching this right now, is because you know that I've been through the depths of this. I've been completely hospitalized. I've been spoon-fed. I lost my job. I've been in debt. I had doctors tell me I was crazy. I had friends look at me like I was going insane. So I have felt pain at a level that a lot of people have felt, but for a lot of people, worse than you felt, right? Maybe not you, but I've talked to so many people. I've talked to literally thousands of people, and they say, you know what, Miguel, so glad you made these videos online, and I saw that you can recover. And if you can go from completely hospitalized in the ICU for a month straight, in a wheelchair, in a walker, if you can go from that to running on a beach full speed, climbing up a mountain, running a part of a marathon, if you can do that, then that gives me hope that I can do it too, because I wasn't even as bad as you. So it really helps to look at your life and look at your situation as if you're in a movie. Imagine you're a superhero. What would that superhero do at this part of the story? What kind of things will they tell themselves? Of course, it's going to be difficult. Of course, it's going to be hard. You're going to be asking yourself if you can even make it through this thing. But just like in every hero's story, in every hero's journey, there is that breaking point. Right before that breaking point is when you have that breakthrough. Once you have that breakthrough, it's just up and up, and you really get your life back. And it's going to be worth all of this pain and suffering that you're going through. And you're actually going to see down the road, when you look back, there are actually so many lessons that you're learning throughout this time. And so to wrap this all up, a lot of people, they try to escape the situation that they're in. And in a sense, yes, you do want to escape it. I wanted to escape it, of course. You don't want to be stuck like this for the rest of your life, but we can't just snap our fingers and teleport to the future. We can't control time and go back to the past and undo the things that we've done that may have put us in this situation. The best thing we can do right now is stay in the present moment, focus on what you need to do right now, because there's a famous saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But knowing that every step you take is inching you forward, it's getting you that much closer to thriving health. And for me, that step every single day was responding well to symptoms. The golden rule of recovery was whenever I was feeling scared, doubtful, hopeless, and when I was feeling anxious about symptoms coming up and old memories were popping up from the past, the traumatic memories of being rushed to the ER because I crashed, I had to tell myself things are different now. Now I know it's a hypersensitive nervous system, and I'm not going to make that same mistake of downward spiraling just like I did all those times before, because now I am writing my own story. I am literally creating my future as time goes on, and I'm okay going through this right now. I'm okay being on this journey because it's making me stronger. It's making me a better person. And I know this doesn't have some practical steps of like how much activity to do and how much should you pull back. This is more of a mindset thing. This is more of a topic of a different way to look at your situation right now to really help you stay present and help you stop trying to escape the present. Because even though it is very difficult right now, I guarantee you, when you get to the other side of this, you're going to think back to today and you're going to think back to the mindset you have now, and you're going to thank you and you're going to realize how strong you were. And that person who's recovered, that person who is walking around with no symptoms, who's able to bike, who's able to run, and whatever it is that you want to do, that person exists in this timeline of life. You just haven't reached there yet. Just keep on going. I'm here for you. That's why I create all these videos, is because I've been in your shoes, most likely. Most of the symptoms you felt, I probably felt. I had over 50 symptoms. I can't even count how many symptoms I had. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is more of a deeper mindset video, but I like to do these every now and then to really just maybe help you change your perspective on your experience and what you're going through. And I really hope this helps. If you did need some extra guidance in your recovery journey, you can click the link down below. You can apply and see if our recovery system is going to work for you. This is one of the deeper topics, and we talk about this stuff all the time. If you did need some extra help on your recovery journey, we actually have a step-by-step Recovery Foundations Masterclass. It's completely free. It's basically 7 days where myself and the coaches walk you through what you need to be focusing on in recovery. We help you build a strong foundation for your recovery, whether it's chronic fatigue syndrome, long COVID, fibromyalgia. So just click the link below. It's completely free. You can join it, and you actually get a personalized nervous system health assessment as part of that Recovery Foundations Masterclass. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Always remember that you are a thriver and you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. I'll see you in the next video.
I'd say that CFS recovery is absolutely the real deal.
I actually felt like somebody had an answer, like somebody explained what was going on, and it all clicked.